Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Nordic Game Discovery Contest. This is the 15th qualifier of the fourth season of the contest, and I'm very, very happy to be hosting it here. Here is in Copenhagen, but here at Dev, which is in Bucharest. But to the internet, we are actually able to do it anyways. So that's brilliant. For those of you who don't know much about the Nordic Game Discovery Contest, we have created a little video for you to enjoy. So let's roll that now.
You are a developer because you love games. Your goal is to create truly innovative and interesting experiences. To do that, you constantly have to learn and adapt and make decisions every single day. It's risky and scary, but also exhilarating. The freedom to create, working with like-minded people. The long days, sleepless nights, the leaps of faith, the pride in what you do. There are ups. The moment you first playtest it, the reaction of the first who tries it out. There are also many downs. But when you fail, you learn that your game needs to be discovered for more people to know it exists. So you enter the discovery contest and a new journey begins. Battling on stage, pitching your game, first at home, then abroad, with and against other gifted developers from all over the world, making new business connections, even friendships, learning how to pitch, sell, connect, and evolve. Getting your game out there, that's what it's all about. Nordic Game Discovery Contest.
Yeah, thank you so much for that. This is basically a competition, a contest where game studios can apply and battle it out in live pitch battles against each other and in front of a panel of experts that will then grill each contestant with some brilliant questions. And at the end, we will find one winner to rule them all. And that winner will go into the Nordic Game Discovery Contest Grand Finals, taking place at Europe's second best conference after DevPlay, obviously, which will take place on the 25th to the 27th of November in Malmo, Sweden. My name is Jacob Rees. I'm the program director of the Nordic Game Conference, and I'm also the host of this contest. So let's bring it on. First of all, a little bit of explanation about how we're going to do this. Selection process where studios could send in the games and the pitches, and 3 of those have been selected to be the contestants here. They will face a fierce battle with the following rules. So, round 1, this is where we meet the contestants and they show us the game. Round 2, this is where you really hardcore questions from the judges. Round 3, it's called the reality round. Again, it's questions from the judges, but this time regarding all the surrounding issues with the game, the price point, the business model, and so forth. And then we will end with round 4, the final round. That is where the contestants has a final chance of swaying the judges to make the judges point at them as the game that deserves to be discovered. Yeah, exciting, eh? I can feel my heart. I don't know what about you, but my heart rate is like getting up there. So much tension here. I can almost feel it, even though I'm sitting all alone in my apartment in Copenhagen. But I am not alone at all because I have a lot of people surrounding me, helping me with this. First of all, the panel of judges. So I think that we should meet them now. And wow, this looks great. This looks like a sci-fi version of an Octopussy being me with arms out to all the judges and the contestants as well. Let's meet judge number 1. Judge number 1, are you there? Can I see you? Oh, there you are. And it's Justin.
Hello. Although I'm usually not number one, so it feels we're awkward being number one. But okay.
That is why I made sure that you were number one, Justin. So can you please tell those of the attendance here that doesn't know anything about you, which would be weird, but still there must be some people who doesn't know you, a little bit about yourself?
Sure. Justin Berenbaum, VP of Strategy, GM of Exola Funding Club. They bring me on because I age up the rest of the group, so that we can be. I'm the anti-ageism judge. So nice to meet you all. Been in the business for about 28 years, and looking forward to seeing some great games.
Thank you so much, Justin. And now you know the inevitable question from me. I always have one question for you at the end of your presentation. And this time it is, which game are you playing right now the most?
I just dove back into Ghost of Tsushima because they launched the free-to-play multiplayer update. So I had been playing a lot of Fall Guys for a while, and after I finished that game, I'm kind of in a rut. I don't know what else to play because I've got too big of a list. I've been playing a whole bunch of games that aren't out yet, so I can't talk about them because we've signed a few new games. But this time I'm back into Ghost because of the multiplayer, so I'm actually able to play with some friends, and that's been one of my favorite games this year, and so that's what I'm playing.
That's also a very cool game. I'm really looking forward to be able to play it myself when I find some time to do it.
Yeah,
So
it's a little bit.
so
It's great. So enjoy it when you finally do.
Yeah, thank you, man. Thank you so much. Let's meet judge number 2 then. It's Patrick Rose. Hello, Patrick.
Hi, Jacob.
How are you these days?
I'm doing quite well. I mean, being quite isolated over here in Germany. We're facing another lockdown, so no sports, no meeting with other people, but I'm doing all right.
Good to hear. Yeah, I know it's a weird situation for all of us. Also, just meeting here and sitting in this situation where we used to be like having fun on a live stage somewhere in Europe doing this. We'll have to make with this instead and make the most out of it. So I'm really happy that you are here, Patrick. Can you please introduce yourself to the audience?
Sure. So Patrick Rose, I'm the founder of the Games Analyst, which is a consultancy company for all kind of studios, all kind of games, for game design, strategy, and product management. And I've been working in the past on a couple of big game series like Dark Souls, Cyberpunk, Tekken, Pac-Man, and a few others. And now I'm here.
Very nice. Thank you so much for being here again. And also have just one more question for you. I think I will go for the same as with Justin. Which game are you playing the most right now?
At the moment, I'm actually enjoying Ori and the Will of the Wisps, which is a beautiful game. It's having great graphics. It's having a great soundtrack, especially, and I also love the storyline.
Very nice choice. I enjoyed that very much as well. Brilliant game, brilliant platformer. So thank you so much, Patrick. And now let's meet judge number 3. Hello there, Martina. How are you doing?
Hey, yeah, we're doing all right. Thanks, and thanks for having me.
It's my pleasure. It's good to see you again, although in this internet format. Can you please introduce yourself to the audience as well?
Yeah, of course. So my name is Martine Spaans, and I'm located in the Netherlands. And I have a publishing studio called Tamalaki Publishing, and we specialize in games mainly for women. And the majority of our games are hidden objects, match threes, time management, and puzzle games. And we've been doing that for about 8 years and still going strong.
Very, very nice. And then I'll have to ask you the same question then. Which game are you playing the most these days?
Apart from a lot of my own games, I'm currently also playing Black Sad on the Switch, which is like a detective noir game based on like a popular comic book series. I already picked it up. I think it came out last year, but then with these detective games, sometimes you just get stuck and you kind of forget about the game for a few months. And I'm picking it up again, determined to finish it.
That sounds really, really nice. Haven't played it yet myself, but it sounds great. So thank you all for being here, and I hope that you are well prepared and have gone through the selected contestants and are as eager as I am to actually meet them. So let's get on with it, because now we are entering round number one. It is the Sixth Hammer from Bulgaria, and the game is called Moolander. Now, first, before we actually meet the contestant, we're gonna see a little bit of a sneak peek behind the scenes of the Sixth Hammer studio. So please roll the video.
Hey guys, I'm Dimitar.
Hey, I'm Yasin.
Hey, I'm Ivo.
And this is our ficus Lenny. He is responsible for keeping the equipment safe in our office. Our team here at the Sixth Hammer consists of 17 people in 4 different continents, working really hard on Moolander for the past 3 years. We have even signed partnerships with Sony, Nintendo and Microsoft. We will bring Moolander to you fellow gamers next year, I hope.
Thank you so much for that. And now let's bring in contestant number one so we can see who it is in person. Hey there.
Hello, guys. Hello.
Very, very nice to meet you. And thank you for that sneak peek into your studio. It makes me want to ask you if you should describe your studio with one single word, what would that word be?
Well, different.
Oh, different. I'm gonna note that here to see if you're really that different. Only time will tell. Thank you for this so very fast intro here first, but we will get back to you very soon. Now let's take a look at contestant number 2. This is Warsaw's Game Studios from Poland with a game title called The Path of Kalitra. Now let's take a look at the studio tour here. Please roll the video.
Pessoal, pedindo pra gente gravar um vídeo de aproximadamente uns 30 segundos mostrando um pouco do nosso trabalho.
Espera, como é que a gente vai filmar se a gente não tá no estúdio?
Por causa da pandemia ficou todo mundo em home office.
Wait guys, we're speaking Portuguese. Nobody will understand this. Let's do what they do best.
Bugs.
Of course not. The Path of Kalitra.
Let's meet contestant number 2 in person. Hey, how are you?
Hi guys, how are you guys? I'm fine.
Very good. I think at least I am. I'm very excited to meet you as well. And thank you for letting us see a little bit about what your studio is about. Now, if you should describe your studio with one word, what would that one word be?
Well, we are, I think it's a unique studio.
Unique, that's what you said, right?
Yeah.
Oh, so we have different and unique. Interesting cocktail there. Thank you for that. We will return to you in a second, but first we need to present contestant number 3. Can I show the nice slide again for contestant number 3 here? It is Blue Rose Games from Bulgaria with the game called Azure Dawn. Now let's take a look at their studio. Please roll the video.
Hi, I'm Martin, a visual effects artist, and I'm about to show you how the game design pyramids are built.
Not good enough!
Thank you so much for that introduction. And hello, contestant number 3. How are you doing?
Hello, I'm quite well. And you?
That was an interesting look at your studio. It leads me obviously to the question, if you should describe your studio with one word, what would that be? Whipping?
It might surprise you, but it's not going to be unique. I would probably choose passionate.
Passionate, yes, thank you so much for that. That is noted. And now we have a great look at all the contestants and the judges here. I love it. It feels like we're in the same room together, having great fun. Do you agree? Yes, you do.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah,
Thank you. So, judges, now we're going to take a look at each of the games and the gameplay. So let's focus on contestant number 1, Moolander. Now we're going to see a video with the gameplay, and after that, contestant number 1 has 30 seconds to explain what we just saw. I'm pretty rough with my my timer here, just so you know, contestants, that I will cut you off if you are not explaining within the time limit. It's one of the things that one of the few pleasures I have in life. So everybody's just like, huh? So let's roll contestant number 1. It's Moolander. Let's take a look at the gameplay video.
Hamilton, some beast is looking at us.
We've lost a few parts during your landing, sir.
Just chill, Hamilton. I got this. Whoa, Hamilton, Mars is one heck of a planet. So green and beautiful.
Sir, we found our guns.
Yeah, I know. I'm ready to fight. Turn up the battle track.
Thank you so much for that. Interesting to hear now. In 30 seconds, please explain, what did we just see there?
Okay, so yeah, our team of beekeepers, musicians, and water engineers, we have created the most epic cow platformer you will ever play. We don't even have platforms in it, but we have milk. We envisioned and created the best and maybe only cow artificial intelligence in the game. And you'll be surprised by the way our cows will attack you while dodging your desperate attempts to land a single hit. Because the cows are so fun, we are giving you the opportunity to play as one against your friends in our wacky multiplayer.
Thank you. Time is up. Brilliant. You took it under the time limit. It was great. Now let's move on to contestant number 2 and take a look at the Path of Calidra gameplay trailer. Can you please roll the video?
There is a time when each of us just wants to escape. Discover a world full of colors. Sweet little creatures and superpowers. But remember that escaping from one fight won't save you from the next. Help Calidra restore her powers and bring peace to Kalisgor. Become the hero this world desperately needs.
So, thank you so much for this. Now you have 30 seconds to explain what we just saw. Please do that now.
Well, Path of Calidra, it's a game about a boy who is suffering bullying at his school, and he wants to escape. And then he finds this entity, Calidra, that is in need of help in her world. And she takes him into this magical journey. And he's go to this other world, and there he'll have many adventures that he'll go through with this magical backpack that transforms into various elements.
Thank you so much. Time is up. Thank you for that answer. And now it's time to meet contestant number 3 and to take a look at the gameplay video of Azure Dawn. So please roll the video. Thank you so much for watching that. And now, contestant number 3, you have 30 seconds to explain. What was that all about?
So, you know how in most stories we play through, it's always a tale about some kind of chosen hero. It's told through either text or cutscenes or occasionally through hidden lore. We've seen plenty of characters like Kratos, for example. Well, wouldn't it be so much more amazing if you could play through the story of someone who is frail, cowardly, and naive, and have that story be told not through words, but through gameplay, and gameplay alone? Well, that's what Azure Dawn is.
Wow, thank you so much. Also, shorter than the time limit. I love it, although I don't, because I rather be stopping you. But that's just me being weird. So thank you so much, contestant number 3. That concludes it for round number 1, the first round. And now it's on for the fun part. This is where the judges step into character and show us which game they think won the first round here. So I'm gonna do like a countdown, 3, 2, 1, show us the game, and you have prepared some nice signs, right, judges, that you will show us when I say that. So are you ready? Just nod if you are. Almost nodding. Yeah, a small nod there for Patrick. It must mean that he is indeed ready. Okay, guys, let's do it. 3, 2, 1, show us the game. Okay, that's I need. Oh, there. Yes. Okay. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. You can take the signs down. Thank you so much. And yeah, like almost as normal, it's a split decision here in the very start of the contest. I don't really need to do a lot of calculations, although sometimes I feel like it. But right now, I can just say that Path of Calidra is actually in the leading role right now after round 1. So congrats. For this round, let's jump straight into round number 2. This is the game round where the contestants receive questions from each of the judges, and they have 30 seconds to answer each of the questions. And this round is about the game and the gameplay. So let's start with contestant number 1. Are you ready to be grilled?
Yeah,
very much.
Definitely.
So. Thank you, and we'll keep the order of Judge Justin, and not to make it too confusing for anyone here. So, Justin, please ask your question.
Sure, hopefully. So, I actually want to know. So, obviously, this genre has been done quite a lot and quite well. So I'm wondering, kind of, what was your inspiration and what did you want the player to feel and when they first start playing the game?
Yeah, so we were very inspired by games like Ori and the Blind Forest and Rayman Legends, and we wanted to bring to the players a unique story, and the story is very big in the game and very important, and there are a lot of different plot twists. And basically, for the player, we wanted for them to explore a beautiful alien world and to feel the character that they are playing with, despite that it is a spaceship and an alien in it. And we wanted for them to feel like explorers. And
time is up.
Okay.
Thank you so much. I like my slow motion move there. And Patrick, please ask your question now.
Right. So in the beginning, during the introduction round, I was saying that I'm currently actually playing Ori and the Will of the Wisps. So I'm wondering now, being a user of these kind of games, and we already heard that there are a lot of these games of this genre out there. So what is your drive that you are actually wanting to try to compete with those games? Like, what is your passion behind that? How can you even dare to try this? And I have a second question. What is that cow doing there in the background?
Well, yeah, first the second question. That cow is the co-founder of the team here with a cow mask that we always use. And about the competition, we enjoy competition, and we think that competing with big games and competing with anything big is great, because competition creates amazing products and amazing new things. And we really felt that we can create something beautiful and unique that isn't a like direct competitor to these games, but we wanted to give something new to the users who enjoy this genre and enjoy playing these games, and to give them something new.
Thank you. Time is up. Time is up. Sorry, I was a little bit late on the button there. Okay, thank you. Then the last question from you, Martina, please.
All right. So I'm kind of wondering, you portray kind of a feeling of kind of these funny vibes with the whole cow theme, but then when I look at the website with the teaser trailer, and like when I look at the gameplay elements, there's also actually quite serious elements of this game. So I'm kind of wondering, how are you going to balance out like these sort of elements of your game, the funny parts and the quite serious parts?
Well, yeah, for this part, we took some inspiration for Guardians of the Galaxy, you know, that movie, and it combines the epicness and the funny concepts all the time. So we try to do that with every aspect of the game, like animations, gameplay, story, narration, cutscenes, and everything. So the story is very epic, but there are a lot of silly and funny stuff that you can see in the game, and we are constantly going back and forth between the epic stuff and the funny stuff. So we wanted to create this unique combination between these two things.
Thank you so much. That concludes it for contestant number 1. Then let's meet contestant number 2 and get questions from the judges. Hello, contestant number 2. Justin, hello. Please ask your first question.
So you're going in order, or are we going to go in reverse order, Jacob?
Yeah, we'll just keep the order. So you will be first on every single question here, and I know you love that.
Oh, gee, thanks. So I'm gonna go back. So when I first looked at this, it kind of had a little bit of, I guess, odes to some early Zelda stuff and some other things. So I want to understand, I guess, what was your inspiration, and what do you think, is the best comparison for your game right now?
Well, yeah, you are right. Our inspiration was Zelda and Ico and Heart of Darkness from PlayStation 1. And I think they're most comparable is Zelda, because we have a game that you unlock new powers, and with the new powers you find new ways to traverse to the scenery, like you in the dungeons that you in Zelda, that you unlock new powers and go through new areas with the backpack. In the case of our game, it's the backpack that you get elemental powers, like the big hands and swords and the trailer, and the floating with the air backpack. So it's Zelda's the one that compared the most.
Thank you so much for that answer. And on to Patrick, your question, please.
Right. So I've done a little bit of research, and let's get first to the trailer we just saw. So that all looks like really beautiful. It's about colors. It's about peace, was a word mentioned in the trailer and everything. So our viewers might now get the idea that you're a very nice studio, wanting to promote something very, very honorable, very, very nice and beautiful things. However, I did some research, and I have seen that you have also been working on a game called Giants Uprising. And I have seen a trailer, and I have actually a little bit of that gameplay trailer right here, a little screenshot, and down there is something one of your team members is saying, and it says, "We love the concept of destroying the villages, humans, and everything else." How does this fit together?
Well, I'm from Final Boss, that we are the developers of Calidra, and the Giants Uprising, it's another thing within Varsab Studios. But if they want to destroy the villages in Giants Uprising, we can construct them again in Calidra, in this magical world with the backpack.
Thank you so much. That is the time for your question, of your answer there. And Martina, your question, please.
Yeah, to kind of hook into that a little bit, like Patrick also pointed out, your game seems to be really about addressing online bullying. And I'm kind of wondering, that it's an important core message, and how are you really going to bring that across? And, what change do you want to see in people who play the game?
Well, in the beginning, Mateus, that is the main character, is just a boy that wants to run away from his problems, and he goes to this magical world. But then, at some time, he realized that he wants to go back to his parents and have good things in his life. So it's a journey about discovering and evolving as a character. It will not be only the powers and the evolution of the abilities, but has a character too.
Thank you so much for that answer. That concludes it for contestant number 2. We're going to jump straight to contestant number 3 and start the round here. So Justin, once again, please ask your question.
So, I actually did a little research on this in the trailer, and you mentioned that you wanted to kind of tell the story through gameplay. I'll admit, so I watched it, and it looked like a very stylized sort of hellscape. So, from first impressions, what story are you trying to convey to a user, I guess, to convince them to pick up the game and play?
Mm-hmm. The primary story takes place within the inner world of the character. So kind of the levels you play through are these abstract representations of different elements of his personality or memories or things like those, which is why it seemed like something of a hellscape. And the story is centered around this precisely, how the character has to, in order to progress, he has to inevitably confront the issues he has or he's running away from in order to surpass himself and to grow. So it's much a literal journey as it is a metaphorical one about the character outgrowing himself in a way.
Thank you for that answer. And on to Patrick's question, please.
Right. So in your application form, you wrote that you're a group of gamers who were dissatisfied with the approach to game design in the broader industry. Things have become a little too formalic, too rigid, too production marketing first. We believe that art should be experienced first from its very conception. That's what you wrote. And my question now is, what is art in your opinion, and how does your game transport this?
The primary vision we have, which is where those sentences stem from, is the idea that There does not necessarily have to be too rigid a structure to the experience, so long as it provokes the intended effects or the emotions we want to go for. So, for example, the game could play for the most part, let's say, like a platformer, but where it is necessary to convey something through narrative, there shouldn't be anything stopping us from, for example, changing the genre completely, just providing a different perspective. And art in this context is the experience, it's the narrative experience, the emotion of the player.
Thank you so much. It's hard to answer such a deep question in 30 seconds, but you did good. Let's get the last question from Martina, please.
All right. I saw also on the materials on their website that you mentioned a perception system where the user can decide for the main character what is real and what is not. How do you keep control over the designed puzzles, and how do they interact with this?
The core idea of the perception system is that the cursor is where the character is looking at. And as we said, the levels themselves are oftentimes more abstract than they're literal. And a good example I often give for this is that, for example, there might be a book which is filled with stories, childhood stories. But in that situation, if the character, for example, has bad memories with this, perceiving this book might cause unwanted monsters to appear in the level. And so you can willfully choose not to look at the book, but that means that you're running away from the problem and would eventually make the level more difficult as a result.
Thank you so much for that answer. And that concludes it for contestant number 3. Will now tell us who each of them think did best in this second round. So judges, are you ready to show us the game? All right, 3, 2, 1, show us the game. Oh, very exciting. Very exciting. A new decision here. You can take the signs off here. And now it is time for me to actually dive into this extremely deep and complex algorithm that is the basis of the point system here. I'm not going to bore you too much, just to say that it's not easy. It's not a task for everyone, and that is why I have been chosen to do this really difficult task. So I'm gonna see here. Wow, and right now I can tell you, yeah, wow, we are looking at an extreme situation where it's a split decision after round 2, and that's all I'm gonna tell you now. So let's take a little bit of a breather now before we start entering round number 3. Actually, I wanted to spend a couple of minutes of just saying thank you to our sponsors and partners. First of all, because we're here, thank you DevPlay for having us, but also a big thanks to our sponsors, Xsolla, hey Justin, and Versus Evil, and a lot of other partners that are bringing stuff that the contestant will receive if they win, and so forth. But let's start with Xsolla and watch a little bit of video about them. Can you please roll the Xsolla video? Thank you so much, and thank you again, Xsolla, for being part of this. We simply love you. Without you, it couldn't be done. And that goes for Versus Evil as well. I just want to show you a video from them. Please roll the Versus Evil video, please. Yeah, big shout out to Versus Evil for supporting the Discovery contest as well. I have my favorite anecdote to be told right here, so bear with me. I'm just so proud of this story because Now we are here at DevPlay, and this is actually, I think, the fourth time we are doing a qualifier at DevPlay. And after season 2, when with the grand finals, game 1 that actually qualified from DevPlay and won the whole season 2. It was a Romanian game called Yaga from Breadcrumb Studios, and in the audience at the grand finals in Malmo at Nordic Game, there was people from Versus Evil who were so impressed by the pitch by Breadcrumbs that after Breadcrumb had received the prize as the winner of the year, actually signed a contract with them. So, and now Yaga, the game, is on Steam. It's doing great. It's also part of the arcade, the Apple Arcade on iOS. And that just makes me so happy because it shows that it can really pay off to be part of the Nordic Game Discovery Contest. So I wanted to show you my gratitude to all these partner events we have been able to visit, either physically or lately in digital format. But you can see that the contest is everywhere almost. And so if you are a developer and you live somewhere in the world, you can still take part of the Discovery Contest and make so that your game will be discovered. And that leads me to the next round. So let's dive straight into round 3. We are halfway now. And round 3 is, again, questions from the reality surrounding the game, the business plan or the price point or whatever the brilliant experts here as judges have on their mind. So let's see contestant number 1 and get the first question from Justin.
So in the documentation, you talked about, I guess, roughly 7+ hours of gameplay and having a PvE versus a PvP. Was a little unclear. Was that local multiplayer only, or was that actual multiplayer? And you were talking about 20+ maps. So I just want to understand the plan around that and the amount of content given the price point for the game.
Yeah, so we have at least 7 hours of single player campaign, which is going to be really single player. You won't be able to play cooperative. But for the multiplayer, yes, it is local, but with features like Steam Remote Play, you can play remotely with your friends. And you have different multiplayer modes there. You can play against each other. One can play as a cow, the other is playing as a spaceship. It is up to 4 players. You have cooperative modes where you should cooperate with people, and there are going to be a lot of different maps.
Thank you so much. On to the next question, Patrick, please.
Yeah, so I have seen that you want to go a DLC strategy, means like you're going to release another DLC later on, which you will likely have to expect that maybe at best 30% of the users of the original game will actually buy the DLC, probably less, maybe even much less. Can you deal with this? Did you think that through, or maybe it makes even sense for you to work on another game instead of a DLC? What do you think about that?
Yes, well, we already have a lot of content for the DLC already, like the level design and art and graphics, but we wanted to cut the scope of the game a little bit so we can release it on time and not spend too much time on the game. And it wouldn't take so much time for us to prepare the DLC for the people after the base game ships. And we have a lot of cool ideas for the DLC. And another idea behind the DLC is to put a little more promotion after the release of the game towards the DLC. Because, as an indie developer, you always need more coverage on the game.
Thank you so much for that answer. And Martina, your question, please.
Yes, my question is actually about the studio. Because as far as I understand, you started out with the studio where you are now in Bulgaria, but you also made international hires in the meantime while working remote. So I'm kind of wondering, how do you kind of make sure that within your distributed team that everyone keeps the same vision?
Well, we have constant meetings with the people, and we didn't had any problem so far with the vision of the team because we had the amazing opportunity to find amazing people from all around the world. And when we started working with them, everything was just perfect, and everyone were on the same page, and everything was going great. So during the whole development, the team was super motivated on the game. Yeah, definitely this team that we gathered from the different countries very much improved the quality of the game.
Thank you so much. That concludes it for contestant number 1. And now we are going to meet contestant number 2 for the questions from the judges. So hello, contestant number 2. Are you ready to be grilled?
Hello. I'm ready.
Great. Good. Justin, please.
So again, I'm going to kind of dig into the business nitty gritty here. So you talked about launching on PC. It looks like Q3 2021, and then you mentioned PS5, Xbox Series X, and Switch Q1 2022. I'm curious as to the decision based on install bases of the platforms, and are there plans to actually launch on PS4 and Xbox One, or just those next-gen platforms, given that the install bases are still going to be 5%, 10% max of what the current gen install bases are? So I just want to understand the rationale and business thinking around that.
Well, we want to release it on the current platform because of the installed base. It will be released on the PS4 and Xbox One as well. And we are postponed a little on the consoles version because it will be more challenging, since the base version is the PC version that we are working with right now, and then would be ported to consoles after.
Thank you for that answer, and on to Patrick's question.
So I've seen you wanted to sell your game for around $25 or $30. So I was wondering, don't you think that this actually feels pretty high considering what you can get for that money on Steam these days?
Well, we believe that our game has much value as $25 because we have a non-linear progression. So you can go to the end of game in about 10 hours, but we will have much to explore, and we will have full voice cutscenes and amazing graphics and a good story. So we have about 15 hours if you want to complete the whole game 100%.
Thank you so much for that. And the last question from Martina, please.
I was wondering if you can tell a little bit more about the relationship between Final Boss and Varsal, and who has the final say in the creative process.
Well, I work at Final Boss, so we are the developers, and Varsal is the co-developer and publisher of the game, and we usually agree on the solution. Because Final Boss is the one who created initially the path of Calidra, but we discussed with Varsal and we come with the solution together. So we both want to give the best games that we can.
Thank you for that. And thank you, contestant number 2. Let's move straight on to contestant number 3 and the question from the judges. So drinking there, I can understand why, because now you are about to enter the grill hell. Justin, please, first question.
Okay, so You mentioned that you're first creating a proof of concept. So the real quick question is, are you actually there yet? And then you mentioned the strategy of either going to crowdfunding or third-party investment. I want to understand which way you're leaning, because obviously those are very different, both with their challenges. And then lastly, you mentioned 20 hours of gameplay and a $15 price point. I'm wondering how much research or investigation have you done on comparable titles, how much content they're providing, and their price points, because the 20 hours on Steam versus the €15 seems like there might be a disconnect, but you also have to look at the genre and what consumers are willing to pay. So I'm just wondering if you thought maybe you're providing too much content for that price point and genre.
Right. Well, starting from the end there about the price point, we expect that a single playthrough of the game will take roughly about, say, maybe 10 hours. However, the narrative content of the game is meant to take place over several courses, with the level design changing based on the perception system mentioned earlier, so that's where the apparent disconnect between one and the other comes. I actually forgot the question, I'm sorry. It was a bit of a long one.
And
that's okay, sorry, I asked too many questions.
Yeah, I'm sorry, time is up. We have to move on to next question, and that is from Patrick, please.
All right, so let me show you your own game title. This is it, right? It's quite difficult to read, and this is also my perception of the entire game at the moment. It's quite difficult to understand what it is, what it does, and so on, and also the graphic style is difficult to understand. So that also means to me difficult to market, actually, difficult to sell it to people. What do you think about that?
There is always, I think, a bit of a challenge there when you try to make something that looks a bit different. There's also quite a few differences in the way the gameplay will be controlled. However, we feel that what we'll get in return for this will be worth it, because it provides something of a fresher perspective. And stretched over the course of the entire game with the different areas, the different challenges you'll be able to pass through, we feel that it will return more than the initial cost, let's say the floor the player will have to step on in order to fully engage with the game.
Thank you so much. And last question from Martina, please.
Right. So in your vision, you kind of dismiss a product-first approach, and you make it very clear that an art-first approach is very favorable. But how have you sort of taken care of this in your business plan for studio survival?
Well, above all, we think that one of the keys to long-term success is having a core audience. And we want to create a core audience through a strong emotional attachment, which is helped by the art-first approach, because we want to create something that resonates with you, something that you don't forget the very next day. And we feel that while that might make the initial success smaller in comparison, it will pay off over time.
Thank you so much. That concludes it for this round. And thank you all contestants for your answers. Now let's turn to the judges. So judges, do you find this easy or is it difficult? Just not.
Not easy.
Not easy.
No, I can understand that. So
this is why I like to spend a lot more time with developers before I make a decision.
Yeah, it should also be said that obviously, because this is a fast-moving game show like pitch battle, it doesn't mean that it all ends here. Obviously, the finalists or the contestants, they can be asked more questions by you judges if you are more interested. And obviously, I guess people watching this will also be able to somehow get into touch with the developers should they be more interested about the games and so forth. So, but let's move on. This is me ranting. Let's get down to the gritty, nitty business of actually getting your points here. So, are you ready? 3, 2, 1. Show us the game. I cannot. You're there again. Oh my God! This is so exciting. I can almost feel the tension, and I'm not the only one who's like really nervous, or am I? I don't know. It's the same for me. Nerves out of a beating heart and sweaty, but on the inside, it's a tough job for me, and not a easy peasy thing for you either, I'm sure. But looking at my algorithm here, it's a first ever. It's a historical moment because it is very, very, and I mean this. It is very, very tight. I'm not going to reveal anything yet because let's keep the heartbeat up here as we enter round number 4. And this is where we've asked each of the contestants to send in some material, and then they will have 30 seconds to back that all up with some words. So in case of contestant number 1, they have chosen to send us a video. We're going to see that first, and then the contestant will have 30 seconds to elaborate on that. So let's kick it off now, please.
Moolander will bring a unique adventure to your PC and console where you take control over your civilization's last remaining spaceship. Fight with intelligent life forms, scouring the unknown for the legendary milk generator device. Tame the mighty cow bosses in the exciting campaign full of memorable characters and plot twists. Continue fighting as a mighty cow in our couch multiplayer.
Thank you for this. So contestant number 1, do you want to spend 30 seconds on elaborating, or was it intentionally that it was a voiceover? You can choose.
I would like to spend these 30 seconds to say a few words.
Go ahead.
While Moolander concept may look funny to you, we are deadly serious to bring the milk to every major gaming device available. This is why we went and signed contracts with Microsoft, Sony, and Nintendo for their consoles. And just wait to play with our huge arsenal of weapons and abilities against the swarms of intelligent enemies and cow overlords. Next year, you'll be able to feel the epic journey that will lead you to the sacred milk.
Thank you so much for that. That concludes it for you, contestant number 1. And now for contestant number 2, you have actually chosen to send in a still picture here. So I guess that we have watched that now, and then you can speak for 30 seconds now. Are you up for that while we watch the still picture there?
Yes.
Okay, please go ahead.
Well, we created Path of Caledra to give the opportunity to people to flee from their problems and forget about them and enjoy yourself and immerse themselves in this biggest, amazing, magical world. So about myself, I was bullied on school when I was little. So when I work at Path of Caledra, I hope that the game will help some kid or some teenager pass through these problems like games helped me when I was little.
All right, thank you so much for that. And moving on, you have sent in a video and without sound, meaning that you can talk while the video is rolling. Is that correct?
Yes.
All right, so please go ahead. We will roll the video and you can just start talking now.
I invite you to look into this little bit of environment art and imagine playing through this. You can only walk and look around. But because the scene feels interesting, you decide to stop and gaze. And then the game responds. The background changes and gentle music begins to play, only because you choose to stop. What if in this intimate moment actually shapes the story? Make it more or less violent, for example, based on your dispositions. That fantasy is what we are making.
And that actually means we have concluded round number 4. And now, ladies and gentlemen, it gets really, really exciting. I will make the final calculation so to decide the final winner. But first, we need the judges to show us the points after this 4th round. And I will do my countdown now. So prepare, judges. 3, 2, 1, show us the game. Oh my goodness. Wow, this is really, really exciting. I got your points. Thank you, judges. And now I need to step into my Zen mode. That is where I kind of decides and calculates the final results. So can I get some kind of a tension music or something, or can you sing to me, judges, or something while I calculate? Oh, let me see here. Yeah, that's not gonna happen. And then there was round one. Yeah, well, yeah. Okay, yes, I'm actually. Oh, a little bit more calculation. Yeah. Yes, yes. So that is. I got it. Can I see you all? Hey, everybody. Now it's Judgment Day, and I am ready to announce that the winner is. You thought it was close there, huh? It is Azure Dawn! Woo! Play the fireworks. Let's see the music. Let's see the music. And yeah, there we go. Wow. Woohoo! Well, I am always happy with fireworks and the trumpets. I get overexcited. But congratulations, contestant number 3. You have earned your seat for the grand finals in GDC late November in Malmö, Sweden. You will obviously get all the info that you need as soon as possible. I just wanted to say to the rest of the contestants, you did a really, really good job as well. Thank you so much for participating in this. And to the judges as well. Can I see you on screen as well? There you are. Thank you so much, Justin, for waking up in the middle of the morning. Patrick for getting out of his isolation, and Martina for just being a very nice person. Thank you so much, everyone, and see you for Nordic Game 20 Plus in late November. Thank you. I'm out. I'm Jacob.
Thank you, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.